From December 12, 2016 to December 17, 2016, Benin was the World Capital of Economic Research on the occasion of the second edition of the Summer Institute for Economic Research, SIER 2016, an initiative of the African School of Economics, ASE.
ASE was set up in 2010 and then opened its doors in 2014 with two programs. One is Mathematics, Economics and Statistics. The other one is MBA, Finance and Management. And then this year, we opened two new programs, master's program. One in Development Studies, Economic History, Political Science, and the other one in Public Administration. Now, we also opened a PhD program, a new PhD program in economics. But we also have three research centers. The Institute for Empirical Research in Political Economy, we have the Institute of Finance and Management, and soon we are going to have the Institute of African Studies.
This is a great opportunity for each of you, not just to be in touch with one of the greatest researchers that's going to present here, but also to make contact and to level your knowledge and your research skill with them.
The first phase of the 2016 edition of the Summer Institute for Economic Research was administered by teachers and researchers from prestigious universities, namely Yale, Berkeley, Navarra, Ottawa, Paris 10, and Princeton. During these 2 days, the latter built the capacities of participants on research design.
What we were doing this morning is basically to do training on impact evaluation methods. So the main advantages of getting training in impact evaluation and what the participants of this program will get after taking this training session is one, they'll be able to be critical when they're consuming research on development. So when you switch on the TV or you listen to the radio, you hear about some causal claim that we did something and then something great happened. So after today, we hope that people here will be able to say, well, what is the counterfactual? And be able to know whether the counterfactual is something that they estimated or not. The second thing is more technical. We hope that after today, people will be able to start to engage and utilize the methods that they have learned here today.
I've just been presenting on the experimental designs, randomized assignment. It is a very popular technique today of being able to measure impact of programs and interventions. This presentation is trying to say, how do we establish two groups that are comparable? One where you have the intervention and one where there isn't an intervention.
Well, first I must say that I'm impressed with the African School of Economics. I think it's a very good idea to have master students here getting some knowledge on development, economic, microeconometrics and all these issues.
My presentation was on financial time series, and this presentation built on the previous one that introduced time series techniques. So a lot of the data that we find in a lot of financial data is data observations over time. However, my presentation dealt with the fact that financial data has a number of unique characteristics.
My presentation was on unit root and co-integration, which is basically on non-stationary time series.
I'm teaching now financial services and products in developing countries. The overall idea of the class module is to try to assess what are the main determinants of financial exclusion among the poor population and how microfinance, namely the provision of financial services like credit, insurance and savings, can help poor populations access to financial products and lift them out of poverty.
Several researchers in mathematics were at the ASC to assess the substance of the discussions. The second phase of the SIER 2016 was that of the presentation of research results. During 2 days, the African School of Economics offered the rising generation of researchers, experienced teachers and researchers, as well as professionals, the opportunity to express their views and present their research.
Essentially, I was interested to see whether discrimination impacts the motivation of African American students in the United States, specifically in things that have to do with reading.
My topic is on the impact of mobile money transfer on food, financial inclusion, on economic growth in West African countries.
I presented the paper of a part of my thesis titled Conflict and Poverty in Nigeria.
The work that I basically did in the paper is to draw the whole picture of Benin's bilateral truths.
My presentation today was about analyzing supply, demand, real and monetary shocks in ECOWAS economies.
The first two phases of the SIER that were held in Abomi Calavi sparked the curiosity of the mayor, George Bada, who visited the campus of the African School of Economics. The Palais de Congrès in Cotonou hosted the concluding parts of the Summer Institute for Economic Research, SIER 2016. The morning of Saturday, December 17, a discussion section dubbed the Policy Forum brought together some stakeholders of the Economic Research Fair, invited by the African School of Economics and the general public.
My message is research is just trying to solve a problem which you identify yourself and for which nobody knows yet.
After a roundtable on scientific research and technology, a keynote address was made on the challenges and opportunities in the next 14 years. Speaker Landry Adifon, an engineer born in Benin, who is now a worldwide reference in his field.
Here are the three silent things that I will emphasize: quality education, private investment culture, and with technology entrepreneurs. With those three things coming together, no country will continue to stay in poverty. No country.
To round up the second edition of the Summer Institute for Economic Research beautifully, the African School of Economics held the graduation ceremony for its first cohort of master degree students.
My dear graduates, my dear ASE first cohort, your academic contributions, your dedication to these institutions, and your adaptation to a multicultural and international environment, and your desire to continuously learn and innovate has been invaluable to ASE.
You need to be the soldier, you need to be the general for African development. You need to be the one that we can always count on, when there is a challenge. So, and I appeal to you to be also a very generous alumni, to a point where tomorrow, if I call any of you to come and help ASE, you don't even wait until I finish the sentence before you say yes.
President Professor Leonard Wanchikon, you show in front of the world that African School of Economics is not a wishful thought. Be proud of the daily sacrifices you have done. You and your team, and you keep doing search to give us and to give young Africans a qualified education.
The next edition of the Summer Institute for Economic Research, SIER, is to be held in December 2017.